flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have roll call. Commissioner Mortimer and Commissioner Overstreet are not here this evening. Commissioner Nugent. Here. Commissioner Milner.
Here, sir.
And I am here, Commissioner Redding. All right, at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion by Commissioner Milner. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Nugent. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. We'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I reviewed the bills in the absence of Ms. Overstreet. Everything looked okay, so therefore I would recommend approval of the consent agenda as published.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Miller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Nugent. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Moving on to number 7, we do not have any emergency items listed, which brings us to number 8, for the Bradford Health Auxiliary is here to make a presentation to Starke Fire Rescue.
And Mr. Mayor, they would like to postpone. They had an illness. It was a sudden illness.
Okay, they're gonna postpone and we're gonna move on to number 9. Citizen request. The City of Starke welcomes you to this meeting. This time is set aside for our citizens and general public to address the City Commission. This is not a question or answer time. It is not a political forum, nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about city personnel. If you would like to address the commission, please complete a form, come to the podium when you are called, and speak into the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Please also limit your comments to not more than 3 minutes, which you will be held to. Your participation is welcomed. At this time, I have 2. If anybody else would like to complete a form, they are in the lobby. Right now, we have Mr. Paul Steele.
Paul Still, 14167 Southwest 101st Avenue, Starke. I'm back again to talk about the proposed ice detention facility and its potential impacts on the city of Starke. And the issue that's really involves Starke, which is the extension of the sewer and wastewater lines to the facility, which is the old government surplus warehouse down by Walmart. The county commission had a meeting today, and we found out that there's actually now another potential leaser of that property. It seems to be OM Imports. That's people that occupy the old steel construction business down at the end of Lincoln City. And the county commissioners voted to pursue that option as well as the ICE option. It's not exactly clear at this point what they would be using it for other than potential as a warehouse, in which case their water needs and sewer needs would be much less. My concern with the city, why I think the city should be concerned about this is that that facility will require a lot of water. Estimates are from the equivalent of 1,000 to 1,300 homes. And if you set aside that much water use for that facility, that means that you don't have the ability to expand the city of Starke with home residential units, which of course bring in taxes. That facility would not bring taxes into you. So I hope that you would take action and give some guidance whether the city of Starke is really interested in providing the services to that facility, because that might help the county commissioners decide which direction they should go with respect to the use of that property. One of the problems with the property is it's contaminated with compounds, volatile organic compounds that were released when it was used as a warehouse, and it's still under remediation. So has some restrictions applied by DEP. Thank you.
Thank you for your input, sir. All right, next we have Rebecca McBride.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay, no. It's Uribe, it's pronounced Uribe.
Uribe.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay, I see
confusing.
it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your
Okay.
turn.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rebecca Uribe, and I am the exotic pet store owner here in Starke. I'm here this evening to address the speeding problem down on West Hall Street. It is terrible. I brought my phone just in case if y'all wanted to see some footage, but the sheriff, he's got copies of the videos I sent him, you know, people driving on my sidewalk. I own a family business. I have little children come in. I'm very concerned about the speeding. There's already been one attempted hit and run. The previous neighbor to mine, the store owners, were able to catch it on video and you know, run out at the same time and friend, hey, we have it on video. So they stopped. We just had a recent another hit and run across the street. Unfortunately, my cameras do not reach across the street enough to catch or identify the vehicle that was, you know, that caused the damage and left. I wasn't able to help the sheriff's department on that end. But I'm just really concerned with the speeding. That one speed bump is not long enough. It's not helping anything. Vehicles have to be parked on each end for that speed bump to be effective. All the way from West Call Street, from the stop sign, all the way down to 301, it's a problem. It's like a drag race down on that road sometimes, especially when school lets out. It's a problem. I don't want anyone to get hurt coming to my store. So I'm hoping that we can address the situation and maybe get some speed bumps that are effective and that we cover the full length of sides of the road and not just, you know, allow vehicles to get around and whatnot, so. But that's my concern this evening, and I just want to say thank you for allowing me the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the address on the store?
It's 434, oh, my apologies, it's 434 West Call Street, the old Denmark building.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna come
It's
by.
great that the sheriff is here this evening. Do you have any remarks?
No, she's correct. The speed hump only, it don't covers the two lanes, so when there's nobody there, like today when I went by, there's nobody there, they just go around it, and they're, as you all know, when that traffic light backs up, everybody does that cut through, and everybody's in a hurry.
Yes. And let me address one thing too, and I have it on notifications with my cameras. Sometimes when a vehicle is speeding fast enough, it'll trigger my back camera in my back area. I have a over 3,000 square foot store. So, yeah, Miss Chrissy's been in there before, she can describe to you. And for my camera to be triggered in the back office to record a speeding car, you're going 45, 50 miles per hour down that little tiny strip, you know?
All right.
So, but thank
We'll
you guys,
continue
I
to
appreciate
cooperate
it.
with the sheriff's office on that, with Mr. Mullins, and I think that's your district, Commissioner Miller. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, I do not see any more forms. That puts us at number 10.
Getting on your face for it.
All right, number 10, new business.
We need to add one item on there, the food drive.
A food drive for the Cyclone football players. They brought in their flyer and their insurance, and they are in compliance after the agenda was made just this morning.
Okay,
So-
so they did do the application.
Yes, sir,
everything.
and they are in full compliance, and their weekend that they would like to do it between games is actually the 18th, so we do not have a commission meeting prior to that. So if we could add it to new business, please.
All right, so under new business, I will entertain a motion to approve their application for their food truck.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Nugent. Do we have a second?
I'll say it, Mr. Mayor.
We have a second by Commissioner Milner. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, that takes us to number 11, old business.
Charter review, they met today, I believe, for the final time. You all should have a copy.
We
you all
will
should
get
have
you a
copy of that.
draft this week.
Okay.
So, they approved the draft as written.
Okay, all right, good.
We will come back the next meeting with some ordinances for you guys, and we're ready to roll.
All right, impact fee, same status,
Same status.
waiting on Tallahassee.
Waiting on Tallahassee.
Okay. We do not have any public hearings listed under number 12 or quasi judicial hearings listed under number 13. That brings us to 14, reports. Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and get Lance to come up for the building zoning report. They definitely had a busy month.
Evening, Lance Campbell, Planning and Zoning. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I will start with reading off March's numbers. If you have any questions, just stop me at
Yes, sir.
any time. Residential permits issued were 16, commercial permits issued 3, 0 zoning applications, 4 new contractor registrations, 52 inspections performed. The revenue from this month, or the previous month, is $30,193. Code enforcement, we opened 3 new cases, we closed 10. One of those closings was the demo on Walnut Street, the 2-story, you've probably heard or seen about it. 17 public contacts throughout the community, and other than that, that's our report. Do you have any questions for me?
Good deal. How does that stack up compared to, say, last year, the prior year?
What part specifically?
Well, just on your numbers, you know, obviously with residential permits, I guess would be one of your most significant in there.
So it varies because throughout the year you have some slower times on the holidays and whatnot. We're really starting to kind of come out of that, obviously.
So say like throughout the first quarter of this year versus the first quarter of last year, significant increase?
Continued revenue growth. I believe the previous month was in the 20s. And it also depends. If we have a large complex come in, their permit fee is going to be more than that altogether. So I would say that we had.
We can have a report to you at the next commission meeting.
And it's not so much based on your work or what you're producing. What I'm thinking in my mind is how we're stacking up compared to other areas, growth rates, stuff like that, and then compared to growth in previous years to where we're at now.
We're continuously growing at a faster pace every single month.
Yes, sir.
Lance, on the residential where you're the 16, so like the ones out there on Bradford Drive, if you have townhouses or like the 10 apartment buildings that are being built on 16 and Wilton, are each of those an individual unit, it would reflect your,
Each
so in
structure.
other words, you got a townhouse with 4 townhouses going in there, but would that show 4 permits?
Each structure would be its own, so
Each
a
structure.
duplex would be one.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Nickett, do you have any?
No, I just think Lance's done a good job, just keep monitoring and I know keeping the numbers up and getting them copies, but I know you got a lot more growth coming and a lot of citizens from that side. I think you can do a good job.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullins?
The only other thing real quick is, you notice temperatures have kind of leveled off, so we have seen utility bills level off from the previous high of February and January, February really. So definitely a better outlook now with everything going on in Iran right now. Luckily, that has not necessarily affected natural gas prices. Overseas it has, but not here. So we're actually lower than budgeted amount at FMPA of kilowatt or megawatts per hour. So we are in a lot better shape than what we were.
Good.
But other than that, I've got nothing else.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
I just want you guys to see that I gave you a list of calendar
Thank you
events.
very much.
It's gonna be a busy month, and I appreciate you guys.
All right. Public safety, Sheriff.
Absolutely. I'm doing this, I know y'all can read it so the public can see it, and kind of get it overhead. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot here. If you look at it in the 2025 in a glance, you'll see several photos. Jazz DeSue, Jazz Panther now. We all knew her as DeSue. She was a cheerleader in high school. Her mom, Miss DeSue, worked for us, retired, and came back. Bob, you remember her? She was there. One of you, outstanding young lady, does all our technical work, and we'll maintain her. She took on another full-time job with a nonprofit, working for drug treatment. She's been a great victim advocate that pays a whole lot more than we can pay. But we've maintained her part-time to do a lot of the graphics and videos that you see us put out. She does those. Our table of contents. There's a greeting from me. It says the 35 years, which actually this October will make 40 years for me, serving the folks right here in Bradford County proudly. There's Brad Smith, he's by far the most educated one in the group. He does the majority of the work. I do the politics and the mouthpiece, but he does the work. You'll see the Operations Bureau. I can't see much of that up there, see my glasses and my eyeballs. But you'll see that. You'll see the Bureau, the command staff there as you go through it. So you have them, and remember, you can reach out to them anytime. Of course, most y'all know, it's most times better to directly reach out to them. But I get sidetracked easy, but you're more than welcome as a commissioner to call our citizens. Call them directly. They all know where we're at. We meet regularly. We all know what the goals and the mission is of our agency and what we do to serve our community. But I wanted to look over Operations Bureau, the Patrol Division, which is the heartbeat of any agency of law enforcement. And our patrol division, you'll see the uniform patrol, they did 885 probable cause arrests. In a county, really, about 25,000 folks. We have a prison population. As you know, we got anywhere from 35 to 4,200 convicted felons at any given time that we house within our community. With that being said, they serve 570 warrants. Interesting, when you look down just a little farther on that page, you'll see calls for service. 35,026. Property checks. And the vast majority of those come within the city limits, checking buildings. The 11,108 vehicle unlocks. It says 436, but I know there's a lot more than that. Sometimes me, sometimes I give the deputy on the road a call and say, hey, go buy an unlock. Without going through the process. We just don't have a locksmith, and those that do have are paying anywhere from around $150 is the average locksmith call to unlock a car in 2 minutes or less. Every deputy's car is equipped with the unlocking kit and the software. They can go and tap in your car and stuff and tell them what to do to get it. So, traffic crashes, 288. Funeral escorts, 41. Those are way down. A lot of people don't do that anymore. We're getting less and less of that, where they do the viewing beforehand services and do a lot of things. But of that, you see 6,647 traffic stops performed. Stop a lot of cars for a multitude of things. Shoplifting, 70. Disturbances, 310. Alarms, 251. Suspicious persons incident, 818. And mental health Baker Acts. Think about it. 142, 52 weeks in a year. We're doing a couple a week. Arrests don't solve everything. Sometimes it is a mental health crisis. And sometimes a person is reaching out or in a crisis, and the deputies are trained in crisis intervention, and we found out sometimes they're in need of help. And so we send them for the mental health evaluation. And sometimes now with the new rules, they're staying longer, getting the help they need. And just because you're Baker Acted does not mean you're crazy or insane. It does not. There's a lot of people that, all of us in life, reach some crisis. And we've got better, we've gotten smarter over the years in ways of dealing with it. But so we looked through that. The patrol division with the 860 vehicle crashes were reported within Bradford County. Now think about it, the ones we worked, FHP works most of them, and you say, well, what do you mean? You went from the actually traffic crashes that we worked, 288, to a total of 861. Here's our issue. If you get into an accident and you say you're injured, we have no hospital. People are transported out of the county. We don't have the opportunity for a minimum of 3-hour roundabout call to go to a hospital, wait in line, wait to see somebody, get in to see them, and back. So it gets turned over to the Florida Highway Patrol, which sometimes creates a longer wait for your traffic crash to be completed or clearing of the road. So that's an issue since we've lost our hospital. And I ask each and every one of you every day to remind our legislators and all that we need our rural hospital. Our folks in Bradford County have to travel long distances as they get older to Jacksonville, Gainesville, other places that are a lot more congested. And we've lost that, and it's a sad time. But I bring that up because it's an issue with me. It's dear to me. We did 2,557 offense reports, 62 burglary reports, which are way down, 179 theft reports, 113 fraud. Fraud is becoming the big issue with online, digital. Everybody's got a scam from, whether it be, you missed your jury duty, We got a call on your, every day they come up with something new, every time we think we got it. Had a lady yesterday, the guy went down about 7 different banks, we're calling reference your bank, we're showing fraud. You bank it, she goes, I don't bank there. You bank it so-and-so, no. Which bank do you bank at? She goes, well, you called me. You know, this is an older lady, she was pretty sharp. But 128 assaults, 26 missing reports, 66 death investigations. Most of those are people that die naturally. It's the vast majority. We do have a few suicides in there, and we also have, unfortunately this year, we had a homicide in our county. We had the murder-suicide. Prior to that, we had another domestic call where the guy killed the ex-husband. The only 3 murders we've had in the last 2 years have all been domestic violence related. It's a real issue. We had the triple homicide, then we had the one that killed the wife's ex, and then we had the murder. So it's tragic. Of that, 13,490 traffic stops, 8,378 written warnings, 684 traffic citations, and 61 DUI arrests. 2025 was the first year in over 25 years we had not one traffic DUI fatality. It's the first time over 25 years. Speaks a lot. So that's, you see the enforcement goes up, DUI-related homicides go down, and unfortunately, the sad part, the reality, not all that's alcohol. A vast majority is people's prescription medications. We need to be mindful of that. We talk about professional development training, it goes through that a little bit. We have completed the stage 2 of our accreditation for the sheriff's office. We're one step away from being a fully accredited law enforcement agency. That goes, all that credit goes to Captain Brad Witt, who leads that up, but also the men and women who's complied with all the details. Again, it's no small feat. It takes years. When we finally decided to take that on, that credit goes to the staff. They spend a lot of time to make sure we're meeting all the goals that are set forward. We want to lead the state, and that's what we're doing. So kudos to them. School safety, the Guardian program. As you can look down there, we currently have 20 Bradford County School Guardians. They're public record exempt. Can't tell you who they are, but I can tell you that we do have an armed guardian in every school within Bradford County. And in case someone tries to go on our campus and create harm, so that is a critical thing. And they complete 144 hours and continual training quarterly to keep that grade for the Guardian. And we've been able to supply and train, and we've trained many of the other surrounding agencies and send our people to train because we were one of the first in the state with the Guardian program because of something, Mr. Jim Gill, we used special deputy status, and then I completed a few more, had retired law enforcement, military, that were special deputies in the schools. And after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas and the School Safety Act, we already had kind of a partial program in place for training. They fed off of that, and kudos again to the staff for leading the way in the state. North Florida Training Criminal Justice Program at the college, North Florida Technical College. David Bukowski, who used to be a school, Starke Police Department, teaches the criminal justice class over there, and 145 students currently enrolled there. It's a great program. We have one of the best shoot, don't shoot scenario training systems. If you ever want to see something, it's state of the art. We was able to purchase that shoot, don't shoot that we see. I forget the name of the system. There's so many out there, but it is phenomenal. It'll work. I get exhausted, break out and switch, just going through their scenarios, the shoot, don't shoot. And we're also completing a full system communication center to train the communications officers for the future, because as y'all know, communications officers now state certified. They have to go through school and get certified, just like a law enforcement officer, EMT, paramedic. They have to have that certification. So when they come out of high school, we're hoping that in the next year or two that they'll be coming out with that certification and be able to go to work. And that's not bad money, coming out making nearly $40,000 out of high school. That's wish I could have. But our Explorer program, you look down there, it speaks for itself. Our sheriff's posse, which has been around for years and years. We have a all-terrain kind of posse. We also have a horse posse. You see working the football games, special events up on horses, seeing high. The Explorers, can't say enough. We diversified our agency to meet, the diversity of our agency is the same diversity of our community. that we serve. And we was able to do that over the years through our Explorer program. And if they do at least 2 years with us, completing the Explorer program, we pay for their law enforcement academy. The last 3 people we just hired all came through as Explorers. We've hired a total of about 11 Explorers in my, like I say, as a sheriff, 18 years, that have gone on the road and served us well. So these are people right out of our community. And I give kudos to all those young men and women that have stood up and done that. You'll see our drug narcotics investigations, 176, 53 financial fraud investigations, 88 special victims persons investigations, 39 property crimes, and 151 others. So when you get big burglaries, a big theft, or else they get the people that go from one business to the next trying to rip them off, create fraud, the investigations division gets in place, and or large burglaries. But I'm telling you, you're seeing a big change, and I've noticed it in the years I've been in there. Everything's becoming online, this fraud. It's really banking systems. These young kids come out of school and they can hack into systems, get into systems that we never dreamed of, and they can sit in the safety of their basement. Well, no basements in Florida, but in the security of their home and sit online and fool people with AI. It's even getting worse. They'll make it sound just like I'm the one calling them. And they go to the sheriff's office website and get names and call people and say, hey, we have a warrant for your arrest. You need to go down and get it. Or they see people that get out of jail. We're looking at something there. They see the people that are in jail. They see when they get released. Their contact say, oh, you forgot your ankle monitor, but you need to pay for it and get back. Or if not, they're going to violate you and you're going back to jail. And they're spending money. We got a couple of those incidents. And they don't want to get in trouble again. So they're just reacting and doing it. So a lot of things we're having to look at as technology changes and people get creative. We're usually a step behind. We're trying. The BCSO team is composed of highly trained operators and medics, dedicated to ensuring the safety of community responding to high-risk situations. The team completes 240 hours of rigorous training throughout the year, in addition to serving multiple high-risk search warrants and mobilizing and respond to apprehend dangerous felons. That has been something that's between us and Union County. This year we did, end of last year, beginning of this year, we were able to purchase a new armored vehicle at the tune of $350,000. People say, oh my gosh, how'd you get that? Well, the vast majority, about 90% of that, came from our vehicle purchase program. People piggyback off our contract. I like the Florida sheriffs. Some other sheriffs wasn't doing it, we wasn't doing it, and that's allowed us, when you see the nicer vehicles, that takes the burden off the taxpayer, and people are able to piggyback off. So it's been a big help to us to purchase that needed equipment and the extra patrol cars and all that we need. So it's been a big plus. The communications division, can't speak highly enough about these individuals. That is the toughest job in the sheriff's office. Everybody that calls into that comm center, one of the law enforcement or fire truck or the rescue 5 minutes before they call. And you catch the best people at their worst, in a panic. And they're screaming, they're hollering, they're upset, they can't think, anxiety, all those things that kick in a crisis, these communications officers have to deal with. And back in the old days when you got in a wreck, somebody had to drive up to the next house and say, could you use your phone and call in the wreck. I have people that catch me at church or catch me at Walmart or post office and say, hey, I tried calling in the other day, a bad wreck that happened out there on South 301, usually one of the bypass intersections, by the way, and I couldn't get through. Well, because 40 other people have done called in. Everybody's got a cell phone. Over 80% of all calls into the comm center are via cell phone now. So that, and everybody's in a crisis, and everybody wants to report it. So, but 76,306 calls. And those are tracked. Those come in. Those are actually documented, recorded calls. 50,183 the calls answered. 14,339 911 calls. 34,867 CAD calls created. That means documents were created, paper trail when you call in. Not everything's a report or incident, but they call in, it may be a barking dog getting the road, something suspicious. This guy's, acting weird, walking in the middle of the road. Necessary incident report, you get there, it may not be there, but there's a lot of reasons. The 15,200 traffic stops entered, 26,600 property checks. And unique with the software in their cars, the laptops, you got to be in the general location to clear it off your laptop. When they get entered as for who's calls for service, that thing will beep now. They got to clear it. They got to actually be in that general geographical location to be able to clear a call. So if you have somebody say, we'd like to have a house check, we're doing a big construction job, we like our job site checked, those type things, the schools are entered. And every so often they go off, they got to go there to clear that call, so it puts them there to have to clear that call. So it's a check system. The Emergency Management Division with Captain Brad Witt leads that up. Can't say enough great about that young man. He's OCD. I do mess with him quite a bit. I go to his office, he just moves something, because everything's got to be in a certain place. It's not like my office where I'm a professional pilot. I pilot over here for a while, then I pilot over there for a while. But he's a great young man. They've done a lot there, you can read. And then the jail, our corrections division. Glad to say in my 18 years, and Sheriff Milner have to say something prior to that, we've never had a bad jail inspection. We've always been above average. Can't tell you the number of times it says quiet and clean. We have very few incidents. Just recently, with the way the Department of Corrections is doing some of their release and then charging for criminal charges, we're getting some of the worst of the worst. Just here recently, and we're trying to find out some way, because remember, when they commit a crime out there at the Florida Department of Corrections, it has to be handled in our court system. Hence, you'll see the transports we do, the number of transports that most people don't realize that we do in and out. But a lot of those kudos go to Major Dawn Mueller and her staff. And if you look, we break it down, the Bureau structure from the jail to court services to jail programs, which was established in 2024. When you come in now, and it wasn't there when the Sheriff Milner was there, but we have tablets, and the inmates have tablets, and they can go on the tablets and complete programs. If you come in indigent and you don't have money, you can complete programs, certificates, church sermons. There's a religious side of it, and we're fixing to download a lot of the local churches into that software with the new company we just went with, and be able to watch the local church services. So we'll get some of the local churches in regards to that they can watch, but they earn credits. So when they earn these credits, that they can actually get phone time. What you realize, most phone they can do either the email or they can do video calls. So they can talk to their loved one. My son was beat up, I heard he got, well, call him, put him on video. They can see him right now from the jail. We didn't have that luxury. Back in the day, say, hey, bring little Johnny up here. Like, don't look, because when they go to jail, they call everybody and tell them, I don't want to eat the jail food, it's bad. We go by calorie count, we don't, and nutritional value. We don't necessarily go by the best in regards to it. But it's the things have changed inside that facility so people can check. I don't get many complaints. I just don't. Because that's alleviated that. When they talk about indigents, they didn't have no money, they didn't. But by completing these programs, these certificates, it's pretty amazing. But the county jail in 2025, our average daily population in the jail was 182 inmates. We had 1,198 incident reports, 155 disciplinary reports, 36 use of force. And that's why I told you we're getting these DOC inmates that are in the psych wards. They throw something on a correctional officer or whatever. They end their sentence, then we got to go get them on the Bradford. They're charging with outside charges. They didn't. Back in our day, they got DRs and disciplinary reports, and you add it to their time. They're trying something a little different. I don't know that it's going to be successful, but and Dan, you work in that system, So now we're dealing with these people these critical incidents things. So it's a little different. Like the 36 use of forces, probably a dozen or more was on one individual. Literally. I mean, we kept him in a suicide cell almost the entire time we had him, and he spit and fought and bit every day. Kept him in chairs, and the judge wouldn't, so we had to deal with it until he finally took the plea. Got what he wanted and took the plea. So I'll quit when I get what I want. And he did. To his credit. 55,883 grievances requests processed. That's when they want everything from toilet paper to Fenneman items to whatever it may be. We track every request comes in, so you can see those have to be answered and responded to. I can look at them every morning and see who it is. And usually it's the same 2 or 3 inmates who do the vast majority of requesting, whether it be a pencil, pen, paper. We had 1,186 inmates booked, 1,183 inmates released. We lost 3 there somewhere. No, they're still there. But and then 185 felony registrations and 3 Baker Acts from the jail. when you say felony registrations, anybody that gets out of prison has to, and that's a felon, has to come to the sheriff's office and register as a felon within our community. And they give their address, and also we know that person that's been released and where they're going. You look at our inmate medical, Miss Dr. Pete. Dr. Pete Giannis saved the county millions of dollars. You know, some people in our community that calls the county and the cities millions of dollars with their nonsense. Dr. Giannis saved our county millions. And since that time, since he left, it's really, the costs have really went up. The 2,269 inmate sick calls, I'd be sick if I was in jail too. Nothing with that. 1,758 blood pressure checks, 59 medical transports, that's taking them to the doctor, dentist. Remember, they're in our care, custody, and control. 45 employee drug screens. We're doing hiring, going through anybody in the county gets hired, comes there and does their drug screening all through our doctor. 579 visits to doctor's clinic, 14 inmates on suicide watch. People come in, they're the lowest in their life. They've hit rock bottom when they come to jail. And they can be the best person you know, your neighbor, someone you care about, and they come in, they're distraught. They've done something, they're embarrassed. It's critical, and for their safety, we put them in a cell that's watched 24/7, under camera and clear glass. And they're put into a special thing where they can't harm themselves. With that many inmates, I think we've done pretty good with they have an assessment when you come in, a psychological assessment they go through to try to evaluate that. 14 hospital admissions and 8 suicide attempts, 1 successful. And that person was in a medical cell under 15-minute checks. So, sad. Still a sad reality. We're still responsible. But unfortunately, when somebody makes that decision, it's a tragedy. So, animal services. I'm a pet lover, so it's kind of near and dear to me. With animal services, used to be animal control, we call it animal services now. We try to save more than we put down. But we had 1,348 service calls. There are 2 ladies that run animal control. Now we use inmates, and they clean and feed and do all those type things and assist with all the stuff there. But these 2 ladies work. There's no loaf and 63 after-hour calls, 33 bite cases, a lot of loose animals in our county and neighbors, and I've been bit my share of times over the years. 927 intakes. Think about it now. 491 owner claims, people we pick up and they come back and claim, thank goodness. And 225 adoptions, able to adopt animals out. Court services, judicial services, which court services falls under. 27,124 people went to that metal detector at the courthouse. And remember, that's not your tax collector's office, supervisor of elections, county commission meeting, county manager's office, building and zoning. This is in the heart of the courthouse where you have the state attorney's office, you have the public defender's office, the courtrooms, and the clerk's office. 27,124 entries. You had 1,490 misdemeanor hearings, 1,618 felony hearings, 248 juvenile hearings, 213 dependency hearings, 169 pro se hearings, and 39 jury trials that host. That's everything from misdemeanor to murder on the jury trials that go there. We had 415 Bradford County inmate transports. And we had 572 U.S. Marshal inmate transports. We've been housing federal inmates for a long time. Hard to be getting there. But we deal with that, 572 Marshals transports and 415. Remember, they commit a crime, they get transported to another prison, they get sent somewhere else, they get out, we have to go, or they got a warrant, they get caught somewhere else. We have to go get them. Big expense to the community. Maintenance, 2025, maintenance is an important part of maintaining that building. It's 30 plus years old now. How old is the sheriff? When he came in, it was 97. Yeah, you were there when it was built. So it's been there a while. We had 584 work orders completed. We have a work order process when somebody, whether it be electrical outlet that don't work or whatever, there's a process so we can track it. So 500 work orders, 60 contractor escorts, people coming in to do different things, usually air conditioning, heat, water, and things that getting old. 29 waste disposal. 19 paperwork, and 36 supplementary replenishment, such things as the grinder. Trust me, the city calls
Oh, yeah.
if the grinder goes down. You know, that's important. Inmates flush everything.
Yeah.
And the grinder is one of the most important things you can have. And since I've been the sheriff, we have replaced it twice. Our place when I first went into office has been repaired numerous times, but those things run for $20,000 to $30,000 according to what aspect you need to go. But it's a lifesaver. If not, it messes the entire city up.
Them clothes ruin them grinders.
Oh, they do. You work in the Department of Corrections, you know,
Yeah.
and they flush anything, so it's nice. But with that, with inmate work crews, 13,270 inmate labor hours. A lot gets done with inmate work crews. Let me be real clear, it's not slave labor. They volunteer and they get credit toward time served. It's paying back their debt to society of what they committed to the victims. And paying back to what it took to house them. I don't back up from that. The sex offender unit, we had 4 arrests for non-compliance. We have 268 registered sex offenders checks, 48 registered sexual predator checks, for 358 total offender and predator registrations. We have to keep us updated. If they change cars, if they change their email address, if they change their address, they're not there, we go by and check, and we go by and check, a couple of times they're not there, we violate them. And we want to keep our community safe. If you want to stay inside the city, they can't be within 2,500 feet, the school, bus stop. Thought that was pretty neat when I was chief to do that, but now I'm the sheriff, and now they all move in the county. So the trick was on me in regards to it. Jail programs, 2,508 digital certificates. Remember I told you about those tablets and what they're doing to 311 inmates, 8,330 hours of completed coursework on those online. Hey, they're doing something constructive while they're there. In regards to it, mental health peer support, big in my issue is mental health. Key aspect of this, 140 group session, inmate contacts. Religious, spiritual, 117 individual sessions, 494 group sessions. Substance use disorder treatment and counseling, 89. 628 group session inmate contacts. Substance abuse disorder and recovery support, 12 individual sessions, and 186 group sessions. So you can see when they go to jail, it's just not sitting behind in a cell. There's actually stuff there, because here's the goal. They're going to get out at some point. We want them to be a productive citizen. At the end, we got to live with them. The vast majority of these people live with us, and that's our goal. And I can tell you that being here my whole life, I see people that have changed. That's the benefit of being a local and being here and watching. And every now and then we get to save that one, and somebody said, "What do you mean just one?" I said, "Because I've seen the damage that just one can cause." So everyone is important, everybody. The code enforcement civil process, deputies used to do that. And it got to such a big project that we had to create a position that now has 2 people in regards to it. Public records request, 3,179. Background checks, 1,877. As people come in, like the rec and all that, they come in and do the different things. Property lien queries, before somebody buys property now, they do the property lien queries, all that. Employee fingerprinting, 189. 273 code enforcement investigations. Court civil paper served, 3,194. But the physical overview, what you'll see, in being transparent, the physical overview from October 1, 2024 to September 30, 2025, we had 7,629,000, let's say, rounded up, $7,630,000 for personnel services. We had $3,090,000 for operating expenses, $200,000 in capital outlay. As you can see, they don't buy many cars. It's costing about $40,000 to buy one and equip it and do all that. With all that, that's where our purchasing program, I kept quiet with it for years, kind of sneak that in, and then apparently it became obvious, and then it's out of the bag, and we just keep moving forward. And it's only grown with that aspect of it. And then inmate housing revenue, we collected $1,200,000. $246,820 in inmate housing revenue, and we received $2,911,842 in grants, which is big for a total budget of $8,513,514,000. That's where our budget is. That's what we receive. I dare you to compare it to any other county our size. Baker and Hardy are the two counties the next comparable to us in population. Look at theirs compared to mine in Bradford County. Nowhere's close to doing best bang for the buck and how we do it. Our victim advocacy. We have 2 victim advocates. Chaz the Sioux's now leaving us, and we'll be picking someone else new there. They're going through the process. They do a phenomenal job. Pink Ladies. Remember when the hospital closed? Which is tragic, but the Pink Ladies volunteer in our office. They contact our victims. They contact our elderly call-in list. They do so much within the sheriff's office. Even on the weekends, they come in and make sure that our senior population, they called in and touched base with them. If you have a loved one, somebody that may be getting up in age, that needs to be checked on every day, they give them that information. If they don't call us, we call them, no answer. We start contacting the loved ones. Hey, well, I'm sorry, I took my dad to the doctor. I forgot to call. This is what you get majority of the time. However, we've had tragedy and we've had a life-saving. Had a call and pick a lady off the floor who'd been there all night. Actually had one of those things, but she couldn't get her arm the way she fell to mash the thing around her neck. And she laid on the cold floor all night. The deputies went around, seen her through the window, was able to breach the house and get her up and save her. And other times people haven't been found. They've had some medical issue and done that. But it's better than laying there for a week or 2 weeks for somebody to find you. So that's where if you have a senior, somebody you love or know about it, get on that elderly call-in list. The Pink Ladies do a phenomenal job there in regards to that. You'll see the awards and recognition. Can't say enough about my staff and what I'm blessed with and everything they do for Bradford County each and every day. And somewhere here I broke down just the start numbers. Did I go over that yet? But anyway, for the sake of time, you're looking at it has all just the start numbers. And I want the commissioners to look at that. What you'll find out is those stats are nearly 50-50 with the calls for service out in the county as it is in the city. So it's very, very, very busy. And you'll see we integrated that in here because we are thankful to be able to serve at a cost savings to the community and streamline it, become more efficient. You'll see the numbers for crime going down, the numbers for calls going up, being responsive, and holding us accountable. And as y'all know, you call, we respond. So, any questions?
Okay. Very good, thank you, Sheriff.
I got another 30 minutes, I mean, if y'all give me. Oh, I keep seeing you watch the clock, man. I was like, hurry up.
We thought you were gonna give an invitation.
There you go. You got it. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the complete report, sir. Thank you. All right, Mr. Attorney, you've been very quiet. You haven't had much you had to do.
Good.
All right, that brings us to the commissioner reports. Commissioner Milner.
I don't have anything, Mayor, thank you very much.
All right, Commissioner Nugent.
The thing I have right now is, league dinner's on the 16th of Bernadine, if any of y'all going, I think Mr. Miller said he was going. Anybody else wants to, make sure, call the league, make sure, because late in the game, make sure there's a.
By Thursday.
Yeah, by Thursday, make sure there's a spot where you can sit, because it fills up quick now, the league does. There's a lot more cities involved, there's 29 cities right now. Also, I'll be out of pocket 16th to the 20th. And I'll be back the 21st. Chris is back over. I'll be back for that.
We'll adjust your pay accordingly.
That's okay. I got a quarter. You need it. So that's all I have today. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right, I don't have anything else, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All right.